Okay, I've been having issues lately where I just don't have any fun at all playing chess. So I want to fix that because I love chess. So that's what this video is partly for. And I thought this game was very instructive because it was just so boring. And it just fizzled out just completely, right? And I think those are very instructive moments because we have a lot of those games sometimes. So you have to learn how to, squeeze water from the rock, right? So we're going to go over this game and see what can be improved upon. It was a Carl Khan. E4, C6, D4, D5. We had the exchange variation, right? Knight F3, Knight C6, C4. If takes, I can develop the bishop, and we're happy, right? Okay, bishop G4, pinning the knight, and bishop E3, protecting the pawn, because if takes, and takes, and takes, and takes, I thought this pawn would be hanging. So that's the practical decision. Computer says inaccuracy, but the computer always says that, right? What else could I have done? Well, golly gee, so many things. Check out this crazy line. C takes D5. Queen takes D5. What do you love to do in this situation? Knight C3, attack the queen. Bishop takes, attacking the queen. The queen is attacked. The queen is attacked. Oh my goodness. Danger, violence everywhere. Well, we take, and now we're threatening this. So black takes, and we give a check. Okay. King D7. Takes. It's crazy, right? Bishop H5, saving the bishop. We've had an exchange, right? We're up in exchange with the rook, but this guy is trapped. D5. Oh my goodness, isn't this crazy? Look, now he's threatening this, and I'm stuck. But check this out. We allow it. F3. See, computers are ridiculous because nobody's going to play like this, right? Nobody's going to play like this, right? So what if this happens? King F2. Very exciting. Takes. Right? Check. Now check this out, right? Because apparently we just have so much going on here that it's even. But again, ain't nobody playing that, right? I'm not playing that. Get out of here. Back to reality. Okay. The instructive part is on its way, I promise. All right, we kick the bishop, and we take, and he takes. So we attack that queen. And he pins me. Well, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. So I'm going to get castled, right? Out goes the bishop. And we exchange. This is fine because I get to play c4 a second time. Isn't that exciting, folks? All right, now, how to block the check. How to block the check. We have a couple options. Or king f1, which sucks. Don't do that. Couple options here. As my cat demolishes my kitchen, you think about that. Kitty cat, what are you doing? Get out of here. Okay, sorry about that. So, a couple options here. Let's go through each option. Bishop d2. The queen is probably going to move back to c7 or b6. And I don't like this. My pieces are disjointed. The defender of this pawn can be removed. And then it can be captured, which I'm not thrilled about. So bishop back did not seem like a good choice, even though it attacks the queen, and attacking the queen makes us feel good deep inside. Might not be the best move. So, knight d2 hits the bishop, protects the check, right? Bishop takes, queen takes. Knight f5 hits this pawn twice. We're going to have to figure something out. I don't like this. We're still in the center. Does not spark joy. So, queen d2. I got to stop the cat again. Hold on. This one is trouble. Isn't that right? Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay. Tearing up the kitchen. All right. Anyways, back to the chess. We block with queen d2. Very good. Exciting. So, takes and takes, revealing the attack on the bishop. Takes, takes. Our king is active in the center. We're defending this pawn. Knight f5, hitting the pawn again. So we defend, right? It does leave the bishop out, but that's okay because look, we have these beautiful center pawns that are connected, working. All right. I gotta put this cat away, man. Hold on. All right, we're back. The cat is dealt with as I put my hair in place. So we left off rook c8. All right, so he's eyeing this pawn. He's going to move the knight, probably double attack it. So let's defend. What do you know? Knight a5. We push the pawn. Everything's defended. Okay. Knight b3. So I had an option here to play rook to c3, which is good because he's got to go back. And now I can play rook b1. And I've got control of this file. This knight is misplaced. And if he continues with how he played in the game, I can do a couple things. I can double up here, make this nice and strong, and this sparks joy, right? If this happens, okay? Sparks a lot of joy. And here we come, right? That didn't happen. That did not happen. Instead, I played rook to b1 because I was looking at this sort of x-ray. And he doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's got to go back. And at this point, bring the other rook in. Very active spot. b6, trying to open things up. I thought about a couple things here, but really the only thing that came to my mind was taking. Turns out knight e5 is great here. Like takes, takes, and this is really nice control of my opponent's king side here. And we kind of get a position like this. 2-on-1, I can make a passed pawn. It's good for me, right? That didn't happen. I took, and he took, and I took. So we're kind of fizzling. But this is a clear weakness, my opponent's position, so I want to utilize that. Knight e5. The clear idea here, rook to c7, targeting f7. And I'm going to pick this pawn up at some point. He's probably going to try and get my pawn, so that was kind of the thinking. It's probably going to fizzle out, and I kind of have to use these pawns best I can. So the rook goes to a8 to potentially strike a3, and rook c7. I thought this was a solid move. There's a better idea here. a4, which nobody in their right mind would play. I was definitely in my left mind because I didn't play it. If he continues with knight b3, I go back, knight b1, and he has to hit my knight as I'm hitting his knight. And then we just continue to hit the weakness, and he's going to lose that pawn. And we have a good game. So I didn't foresee that because I thought, okay, I give up my pawn, I get his pawn. That's fine by me. But there's ways to, continue where you don't lose everything. So rook c7 on the board. Generally a good idea to control this this 7th rank here. But he plays f6. Best move. Kicking the knight. Knight c6. Takes, takes. I thought, okay, I have 2 pawns I can take here. He takes mine. And I took his b pawn. I could have taken the e pawn because it turns out I'm going to get this guy back, right? You might think, okay, the center pawn is more valuable. Well, in my mind, it was like, okay, the pass pawn, I don't like it because I feel like I'm going to have to give up my rook I feel like we're going to trade rooks, and my king's going to be all the way on the wrong side of the board, and it's probably a draw. Funny enough, no matter what, it was a draw. But what can be done, like if he tries to defend, we can push. Seems natural, right? Pass pawn, let's push that thing. The king tries to come in. You know, we're going to cut the king off to try and march our way forward. It looks like we're doing great because he can't get behind it. It looks like it's protected, but there's tricks. So rook b5, and now rook to d4. This gives up the protection. So the king comes in, and then we're going to exchange, and it's a draw. If, let's see, if d6 looks good, right? Rook e5 just loses it, right? Because now his king can get in. Well, first of all, if we trade, like it's just, this is not good for white. If I don't trade, if I go back here, now the king gets in, and you know we're going to exchange probably here, and it's a draw, and we don't want that. So it looked like a really solid pass pawn, but it wasn't. It wasn't a pass pawn, a solid pass pawn at all. Going back, rook takes b6. King f7 defending at this point is a dead draw. Okay, and we just have to not mess up. Okay, rook b7 check. At this point, all these moves are like spot on. Okay, so meaning to control as much space as I can. He's trying to support a push. We're just not going to let it happen. Okay, notice the pawn coming from h3 to g4 is much better because this pawn is not as useful, especially if it gets down to, like, say I won a pawn and it was my h pawn, it's a draw, depending on the circumstances. But so we bring that pawn towards the center. He's going to try and check me. It's not going to work because I defend everything. Try to make our push. We got to do what we can. And it's a draw, barring any acts of God or anything crazy. I was curious if he would, you know, do this here. This is still a draw. So you just have to play correctly, obviously, right? But no matter what, like, you know, unless like this, that just ruins the game, right? Oh, excuse me, we push. That just ruins the game because we block them out. But that didn't happen. Instead, we had laser perfect endgame, and it's a draw. And there were chances in there, but you know, these things happen. So what do you do? Like, how do you not play boring chess? Well, you take these moments where you have chances. Really, all these moves, tremendous, but you take these little moments where you have chances and you try to improve upon them. Like here, for instance, 95, making your pieces as active as possible, but it's difficult. So, hope you enjoyed the breakdown of this very dry game. Keep calm, chess on, all that good stuff. I hope you have a good day.